Jazz Jennings was hailed as a trailblazer, the young face of transgender visibility. From viral interviews to reality TV, she symbolized courage and progress. But behind the spotlight, a more complex truth was unfolding. What happens when a child becomes a movement before fully becoming themselves? Jazz's story began simply. Born male in 2000, she told her parents by age 2, "I'm a girl." At first, they thought it was a phase, but Jazz's insistence grew stronger. By 5, she was living openly as a girl. Her 2007 interview with Barbara Walters on ABC's 2020 made her one of the youngest, most visible transgender people worldwide. The public was divided. Some praised her family's courage, others worried it was too soon. Jazz became more than a child. She was a symbol in a heated debate about gender, identity, and childhood. Her mother, Jeanette, became a fierce advocate and managed Jazz's growing public life, including the TLC reality show, I Am Jazz. Yet beneath the fame, Jazz faced immense pressure. At age 11, she began taking puberty blockers, a controversial medical step to delay male puberty. Jazz wasn't just living her truth, she was performing it for millions. Presented by her doctors and family as a medical necessity, puberty blockers were meant to spare Jazz the trauma of a body that didn't match her identity. Many hailed this as a breakthrough in transgender care, but questions lingered. Was Jazz too young to make such irreversible decisions? Could a child fully grasp the lifelong consequences? After blockers, she began estrogen to feminize her body. By 14, she looked like a cisgender girl, voice undeepened, frame slight. On the surface, Jazz seemed confident, but privately, she recorded video diaries revealing deep doubt. In one episode of I Am Jazz, she admitted, "I feel like I'm living a lie. I don't feel like me." This confession alarmed many. For years, Jazz was the poster child of trans success. Happy, healthy, thriving. Yet here was a young person wrestling with identity in isolation. Psychologists warn puberty shapes not only bodies but minds and emotions. Had halting puberty frozen her chance to grow naturally? Critics argued Jazz's development and ability to question herself had been paused. Her entire journey was public, curated, and applauded. No private exploration, no natural evolution. As puberty blockers sparked political debate, Jazz's story became a test case. Supporters saw early intervention as vital. Opponents viewed it as a cautionary tale. Meanwhile, the pressure on Jazz to be perfect, positive, and proud grew heavy. Her private struggles were warnings. This wasn't liberation, but disconnection. Then came the surgery that changed everything. At 17, Jazz underwent gender confirmation surgery to construct a neo-vagina. It was hailed as a major milestone for her and for the movement. But behind the celebration lay a far more complex reality. At 17, Jazz was one of the youngest in the US to undergo gender confirmation surgery, but the celebration quickly gave way to harsh realities. On I Am Jazz, her doctors revealed that because puberty blockers had limited her penile tissue growth, surgeons had to improvise, using stomach skin to construct her vaginal canal. This risky approach led to serious complications. Soon after surgery, Jazz faced inflammation, intense pain, and healing problems. What was supposed to be a one-time operation turned into a long, painful medical journey with multiple follow-ups. "I've had a lot of surgeries and a lot of complications," she later admitted. Behind the scenes, the once optimistic Jazz began to fracture. She described feeling numb and disconnected. "I feel kind of broken," she confessed. A statement that forced supporters and critics to reconsider the risks of early gender-affirming surgery, especially under public scrutiny and limited research. What was meant to be the triumphant conclusion to Jazz's story became a dark, new chapter. Scarred physically and emotionally drained, she was no longer just a pioneer. She was a patient struggling to heal from both surgery and overwhelming expectations. Following surgery, Jazz withdrew from the spotlight. Her social media faded, public appearances slowed, and she returned heavier, quieter, more guarded. By her early 20s, she revealed a weight gain of over 100 pounds. Her binge eating, devouring pizzas and donuts in single sittings, became a coping mechanism. "I'm spiraling," she admitted. Depression and anxiety followed, making daily tasks overwhelming. Despite her mother Jeanette's unwavering support, Jazz seemed lost. In a powerful moment on the show, Jeanette pleaded with her daughter to love herself, but Jazz remained silent, trapped in despair. The emotional intensity was a stark contrast to the confident child who once inspired millions. Yet amidst this turmoil, Jazz achieved a remarkable milestone: acceptance to Harvard University, a testament to her resilience despite the immense pressures she faced. Instead of heading straight to Harvard, Jazz delayed enrollment. Her reason? "I need time to heal." The decision shocked fans. For years, Jazz was a symbol of progress, a shining example of thriving as trans youth. Now she was stepping back, admitting she wasn't okay, shattering the illusion that her transition had been easy or complete. This wasn't just the story of a trailblazer anymore. It was the story of a young woman, isolated by fame, battling depression, and struggling to reclaim a life she'd never fully controlled. Was it all too much? Too soon? The question that had been whispered grew louder with time, even among early gender affirmation supporters. Jazz's journey, once inspiring policies and talks, now revealed cracks. Could a child really understand the lifelong effects of medical transition? A 2023 article titled "The Tragedy of Jazz Jennings" accused the adults around her, parents, doctors, media, of prioritizing a cause over her well-being. Jazz became a symbol first, a person second, trapped in a narrative that left no room for doubt or exploration. Critics asked if she'd been robbed of natural emotional growth and the right to say, "I'm not sure." On her show, Jazz shared unsettling truths overshadowed by upbeat editing. In one scene, she confessed, "I don't experience sexual attraction to anyone. I don't know if I ever will." Her monotone voice and blank expression revealed a confused, possibly traumatized teen uncertain about her body and future. Her transition was documented step by step, but few asked why. Why start blockers so early? Why surgery before adulthood? Why no public questioning of the psychological costs? These weren't attacks on trans identity, but critiques of a system that treated Jazz as a political ideal, not a complex, evolving human. As stories of regret and complexity emerged from other early transitioners, Jazz's experience became emblematic. The affirming narrative left no space for discomfort, doubt, or delay. At her peak, Jazz Jennings was more than a person. She was a banner, a smart, sweet, media-trained mascot for progress. But the pedestal is never a safe place to stand. By her early 20s, Jazz Jennings's carefully built image unraveled. She struggled openly with depression, binge eating, self-doubt, and post-surgical trauma. As she faltered, so did the movement relying on her story. Some activists said her pain was caused by society's transphobia, not transition. Others distanced themselves as her struggles challenged the ideal trans narrative. Opponents used her difficulties to attack gender-affirming care for minors. Exhausted, Jazz said, "I just want to be me, not someone people debate about." After years in the spotlight, her identity belonged to the world, not just herself. Her family, once seen as united supporters, showed cracks. Her mother Jeanette's protectiveness sometimes felt like pressure, and others appeared withdrawn. Critics questioned if Jazz had been fast-tracked to fit a symbol, rather than allowed to grow naturally. Jazz's story reflects the heavy burden placed on a child to represent a movement. From age 6, she was framed as a hero, but identity isn't meant for an audience. Now in her 20s, Jazz is stepping back to heal and find herself, showing that real identity is complex, full of doubt, growth, and struggle. Her journey asks a vital question. What happens when a child becomes a movement before they've had the chance to truly be themselves? Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.